Looking good, man. Looking good. Hold on. Yes, sir. Looking mighty fine. Mighty fine. Mighty fine. Pretty bug. What's going on, folks? I guess if you hadn't figured it out by now, you've probably never know that I'm making a nut for this stewmac kit guitar. And I got an old Martin nut up here in the vise. I'll show you in a few minutes. Got it in there right now. And I'm just sizing it up to get the width of the strings like a Martin nut is, and from the outside of the nut into the 6th string, and on the other side from the outside, the very outer part of the nut into the 1st string is 1/8 of an inch exactly. So that's what I'm doing, getting ready to do here right now. I'll bring the camera over here and show you closer. Got out my trusty nut files here. I'm going to need that 12, the first thing. Getting these out of the packs is always fun. Good old stewmac fortune nut files. They cost a fortune, man. So let me bring you over here. I'll show you what's going on. Hold on. So like I say, from the outer parts of the nut here on the very ends in on a Martin guitar are roughly, very closely actually, 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and then from that to the next strings is 5/16 of an inch between the strings, or 10-30 seconds, I think. 10-30 seconds. Yeah, with 5/16. So all I'm doing here now is I've got a 12 gauge file. This is where the first string is going to sit. I've already got it marked. You can't see it. It's on the back side here. You might be able to see it. And I just want to start a slot right there. Exactly in that place. And we'll worry about the actual slots later on. We just want to get them marked right now where they're going to go. Here we have that one. Now I've got a 56 here. I want to do the same thing on this side. Get the thing exactly where the mark I have marked there. And there we go. And just cut out a small groove where the 6th string is going to call home. Okay? Alright, now we want to measure from the center of that that slot we just made, both of the slots actually we just made. I might have to make that one a little bit bigger. I'm not sure yet. We want to come out 5/16. Let me find my 16ths. Here we go. In the center of the slot out 4 5/16. And I want to mark that with this shitty pencil. Maybe I should do it this way. Yeah, I guess it'd be better. Five sixteenths. And we want to come over to this other side, measure from the slot where the first string we just cut out. Mark that for the 2nd string. I can hold it still. You guys know how my hands operate. I don't hold anything very still very long. And I completely missed it. It's okay, it'll rub right off. Okay, 5/16. That looks looks good. 5/16 there, and 4 5/16 there. Yes, I'm just going to do that very same thing again. Line that baby up as closely as, there we go, that's it. These nut files were very, very, very expensive, but man, I'm telling you, they are such good files. They are such good files. Alright, come back here now on the 5th string. I'm going to use a 50 gauge on that. That old nut that you see here is just an old Martin nut. It's really not shit. Nothing to worry about. We got to do the same thing again, okay? We got to measure from those slots, the center of those slots in 5/16 and mark it again. So we'll just do that now. That one's right. And I need to come over to the 2nd string now, 2nd string groove, and come in 5/16 from it for this 3rd string. And that looks like it. And we're just going to take that. Let me see what other file I have here. Yeah, let's try this 36 thousandths. That sucker to go right there. I think you can see how well these things bite in, man. I mean, just they make nut work a breeze. If you're going to do very much nut work, this is the way to go. If you want to pay the price, I mean, good God, man. 50, 60 bucks per file. It's a little bit ridiculous. Alright, the other one. There's our line. Right on it. There we are. And it moved. There we go. Oh yes. Woo! The boogity ball. Yes, sir. I'm going to cut that 2nd one just a little bit deeper. Sorry for the background noise, folks. Got AC running. Terribly hot here tonight. At the house. I'm going to pause the camera here a minute, bring you right back. Look how the nut slot in this neck is slanted with the headstock. That nut slot should be cut flat and level with the fretboard. You can see there it is not. And what bone nut I have here left, you can see that area on the bottom that needs to be filled. I could grind this nut down to make it fit down in there. This was an entire block. I haven't taken anything off the bottom from the bottom to the top of it from here to here. It's the nut block height. And it's too... If I cut that corner off to fit so the nut will fit down in that slot, that's crooked. See that? The nut is level with the fretboard right there. We have that big opening gap. If I cut the nut to fit down in that slot right, then the nut's going to be too low and the string action is going to be too low. You can see there where we're at, almost perfect. So I cut this tiny little maple shim. It's thicker on one end than it is the other. I doubt you can see that. If I put the slot of the shim, and if I can hold on to the little bastard, like so. Ah, come on, man. Never fails on camera. I'll even that up around the edges better later. But if I put that in there like so, you see it's thinner on this end than it is on this end. It's so tiny, man. And then set the nut in here on that. You can see what I'm driving for here. And it'll all be flat under there, and I can keep the bottom of the nut flat that way and still have my height up here. I'm not going to lose anything. I've never seen a nut slot cut out like that before. That's what I got to do. I got to glue a shim in there. It's a maple shim made out of rock maple to level that as well as we can, like so. It doesn't look level because you got to shove the front of there. I don't know, it still don't look level. Yeah, maybe it is. Anyways, that's what I got to do to make the nut set in there flat and level. I don't know why the hell stewmac could cut a nut slot out like that. Look at that, man. This guitar's really got some strange things wrong with it to come from stewmac. So that's where we are so far. Here's this tiny little shim I was showing you. I should have wore a black shirt, man, so you could see it. And then, like I say, if you look at it across the side like that, it's tapered. I tapered this bottom side of it is tapered. The top side's flat, which will sit on the nut like so, just like so. And that'll allow me to set the nut flat here against the fretboard. Shouldn't have to do that kind of shit, man. Shouldn't nobody ever have to do such terrible things. Anyway, there's the nut. It's rough yet. I'm going to polish it with, I don't know if you can even see it. I should have wore a black shirt so you can see it. I'll take some 1000 grit sandpaper, polish the thing over, maybe up to 1500 grit, make it really nice and shiny white. And I am going to go ahead and glue this shim in there tonight, so that'll be done. I don't want to glue the nut in yet because we want to work on our nut action rather than filing each nut slot. I might be able to file from the bottom of the nut here, you know what I mean? And you know, just lower the whole thing if the whole thing needs to be lowered. And it'll be, you know, flat with the fretboard, so I can just file flatly off the nut and not have to worry about that stupid angle. I don't know why they do stuff like that. It's ridiculous, baby. But all I'm going to do now is just glue in the shim I made, and I'm going to quit, baby. Come back here tomorrow and I'll finish smoothing this nut down, polishing it. Don't want to glue it in yet. And then we'll start making a saddle. Next video we'll probably, I think a customer said he wanted a bone nut and tusk saddle, compensated. And I have some tusk blanks here. Of course I can't find them. But I have some tusk saddle blanks, and that'll be the next step. Start cutting this saddle out. So it ain't gonna be very long, man. It ain't gonna be very long. We're gonna get to hear this puppy sing. As I said before, the neck is solid, man. It's glued on very nicely. It's a little bit wet around there yet, where I was rubbing it with a wet cloth. But you can see it's turned out very nice. You get a look at that side of it. And I don't think it'll be too long until we hear this old gal sing again. I'll put the rest of the frets in it yet. That'll be another video. All coming to you very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to make a nut, hope this might have helped you out a little bit. It's nothing to it really, just time consuming. And anyways, thanks for watching. Cheers. I'll see you again soon.